Hello everyone, in this video it's going to be my unboxing and first impressions of the CZ75 P01. This was hard to come by for a while. These weren't in circulation and all of a sudden a ton of them popped up online. Snatched one up when I could. I really wanted this because I don't have anything in this size that has the decocker. I have the 75B Omega, which comes with the decocker installed, but you can switch it to a manual safety. And this is just the regular P01, and this one has an aluminum frame, and this one is the NATO spec model. So all in all, very happy with it. Gonna go and shoot it today at the range. Looking forward to seeing how different it is from the 75 compact. Because of the aluminum frame, it's quite a bit lighter. It does have the basic sights. I haven't upgraded any to night sights. Basic rubber grips. I like the SP01 and the P01 lower, I guess is what I would call it, the lower frame, because the beaver tail angle is different. The magazine release button is different. The slide lever stop is different. The grips are different. It has the lanyard. So there's some differences between the two, and the accessory rail, slide serrations in the front and rear. So I like this in the 75 series better than the 75B or the 75 compact, or the 75D or 75 PCR. I really like this size and shape too. It fits my hand perfectly. I have the Hellcat Pro and the SIG P365 XL, which are like the same size, 3.7 inch barrel, but this one's all metal and it has the double single action trigger with the decocker, which I have been messing with. It is quite fun to mess with. It works really easy. It's really fun actually to play with. The Omega model that I have with the decocker, it's different. It's not the same as this. This is much easier to use. The other one has a lot more tension to it. This seems much more natural fitting, like, you know, they designed it simply for the decocker. The Omega is the decocker or safety. You can switch for the manual safety. So this is quite a bit different feeling in the hand, and I really like the 75 SP01 platform. It's not as heavy, so we'll see how the recoil management is, but it has the same magazines. They're 15 round magazines. They have the witness holes in the back, just like on the SP01. The 19 round magazines have all the witness holes here in the back instead of on the side, where it's 40 on this side and then 9 on this side. I much prefer these style of magazines. So this is another thing about this platform in the 75 series that I prefer is the magazines. The one thing I don't like is the slide lever stop. I prefer the 75B one. This one, the texturing is just a little too aggressive for my liking, and the other one is much more subtle, and it's more of like a ledge that I can rest my thumb on. And the part itself is kind of hard to find. I've been looking online and all they seem to sell is this one. So I know they're interchangeable, so I may just actually switch it when I want to use it, but it's not really that big of a deal, to be quite honest. It works. It's just something that I would change if, you know, it was easy to come by, but it's not. The rubber grips, I don't really like these as much as the plastic ones. I actually will buy the plastic ones because they're the palm swell, and they have this little ledge here. Since it's rubber, you know, you can flex the material and move it all around. You can't do that with the plastic ones. So I like the plastic ones a little better because it has like this little ledge here to rest your thumb on, and it makes great for pointability, in my opinion. Now the trigger, so it is a double single action like the rest of the CZ75, but I don't know how to explain in words. It just feels different. So this is designed around the decocker, right? So that means if you're using a pistol with a decocker, that means you want to carry it loaded and decocked. So the first trigger pull is the heavy double action trigger pull, but it's really not that bad. And the single action is quite crisp. I don't know if it's the same as the regular 75 because I Cajunized it, so I can't really compare anymore because I don't have another 75 series that's the same. But I would say that this feels like it's just a little smoother. The trigger pull weight isn't any different. It's still way over, like, you know, 9-10 pounds for double action, and single action is around 5 pounds with my trigger pull gauge. So that's pretty standard fare. The 75B Omega is a little bit less than that. It's a little bit lighter trigger, but this feels quite smooth. It's kind of hard to explain. The one thing that I think that I would definitely going to change immediately is the recoil spring. The factory recoil spring in this is like 16 pounds, and it's actually really heavy and really hard to manipulate the slide. That's one thing that I changed in the other 75 series, is I've got a lot lighter weight in the recoil spring and the hammer spring, so it just makes it easier to rack the slide and manipulate. So that's one thing that I definitely am going to change, because I think it's like a 14-pound spring. It just makes it more user-friendly, to be honest. It doesn't affect the performance. I haven't had any issues with the 10-pound spring or the 12-pound spring, because the SP01, it came with a really heavy recoil spring too. So that's the one thing in this series that I don't like, is the heavy recoil spring. This is just a preference, and the rubber grips thing is a preference. It doesn't affect the performance or function. It's just I prefer the other style slide stop, and I prefer the plastic over the rubber grips. So I would actually like to design an own 75 series where I put the things that I like together all in one, where I wouldn't have these basic sights either. They have the luminescent sights on the 75B Omega that would be much nicer than these. So that's going to have to get replaced with night sights, replace the grips, and then we'll see from there. But today's the day I'm going to debut it at the range, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to mess with the decocker and shoot quite a few rounds in double action, because I'm planning on using this for concealed carry. I've got to practice double action, and I'm going to run some 124 grain hollow points through it as well. I'm actually thinking maybe I should start with that, because they say hollow points are illegal in Europe. So if this is a European design firearm, I've heard one of the qualms was doesn't like hollow points. We'll see, because I'm going to run some 124 grain hollow points through it, and maybe even through the first mag. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Not really decided yet, but all in all, feels great in the hand. I'm not so sure about the weight difference, if it's going to make a difference in performance or not, but we'll see at the range today, and I'll look forward to giving you some updates as it goes along. Thanks for watching.